Good morning, television family. We're back, where I'm back anyway. Show didn't go anywhere. It is Thursday, the 13th day of November, 2025. And I'm Dan Kuntz, a little under the weather for the first 3 days this week. Well, actually, started over the weekend. And I understand, I've been talking to a few people anyway. I've been kind of self-isolating, not really going out. That's what you do when you don't feel well. Don't want to get other people sick. Is this been going around? Kind of a chest cold kind of a thing. Pretty much knocked me out over the weekend. And thank you, Eric. Not an easy thing to ask somebody to get up at the hour that one has to do this program. But I let Eric know on Sunday I was sick. Still not quite all the way back, but feeling a lot better than I did before. So thanks to Eric for filling in for me. It is raining. It is 45 degrees. It's going to be a wet and mild day today. 45 right now is already normal, and we still have quite a bit of daylight to get to. It's going to be a fairly wet and mild weekend. Mountain pass travelers, you don't really have a lot to worry about. Snow level is going to be way up there. Weather coming up, news coming up, sports. Yeah, lots of it. Mostly prep related. Of course, all the prep sports from the fall sports are in the playoffs now, and we'll let you know how all the local teams did. It is Thursday, pause for pets. Declan the dog still needs a home. Declan's been in dog jail for no fault of his own. Maybe we can get him out of there. And my good buddy, David Herald, celebrating 50 years of broadcasting. Dave Herald, they had a big party for Dave back on November 1st. And then our friend Josey Meats from our sister company, I guess, the Wenatchee World. Josey had a chance to sit down with David earlier in the week. We'll have that conversation for you in the back half of the program. Tour time. Here we go. Fired up. The Wenatchee Cross or Wenatchee Heights, whichever you want to call it. We call it the Heights camera. It's near the cross, but not right next to the cross. Bats lead off. We're going to give East Wenatchee most of the love today. And as you can see, it's zoomed in quite a bit. Started raining just past 5 o'clock. Hit and miss rain since then. I understand most of our viewing area is, in fact, getting some light rain. It'll taper off about noon. It'll be dry for most of the afternoon, and then it's back for the evening. Somewhere down there is the Methow and Columbia Rivers. Oh, there we go. Malcolm's going to move the camera. That is Billy Goat. There's a little hole down there. You can see a little bit of Alta Lake, but that is Brewster. That is Pateras, the Methow Valley, a little bit to the left there. Bridgeport, look at that. Now that camera is our highest camera. There's the tower. You can see it right there on the left. That camera is a little over 7,000 feet in elevation, so it's up there. It's like 7,400 feet above sea level. That's how the Sky-Fi system works, so that's why we are right in the thick of the clouds there. Omi Gardens checks in, looking back towards the Wenatchee Valley from up the Columbia River. Look at the sunrise just kissing the clouds. Sunrise, by the way, right now, 7:03. Sunset tonight, 4:27. That's 9 hours and 24 minutes of daylight. Good view from the Omi Garden camera. And we wrap things up by taking a little look-see at Lake Chelan. Now, we were looking at this camera, Malcolm and I were, about 20 minutes ago. Didn't look anything like that. That's the Union Valley camera, so we're looking at Lake Chelan, where the North Shore is closest to us. The South Shore is away from us. That is a pretty cool view there. Chelan would be on your left. Manson would be on your right, our Union Valley camera. We had to move that a few years ago. It was a little bit closer to Chelan, and then I think that I'm not 100% sure, but I'm told that the property where the camera was at was purchased by somebody else who said, get the camera off my property, and so they moved it. That's what I'm told. But good morning to Lake Chelan. Let me check in right now. You're at 42 degrees, currently not raining in Chelan. That's what we're told. So here is the timeline, if you will, for the rain today. This is from the National Weather Service. This takes us from about 2 hours ago until 6 o'clock tonight. So the expected rain, and we're expected pretty good rain today. Actually, most of the rain will be right now. It should taper off. You'll see a little patch there, right there. See how it kind of goes away in the afternoon hours, and then it comes back in the late afternoon hours. So we'll have about a 4-hour period where it won't rain at all. Could even see some sun breaks before the second of those little systems comes through and the rain returns by about 5 or 6 o'clock tonight. So that's what the timeline is. From our friends at Colonial Vista Senior Living in Wenatchee, where comfort care and community come together. Pretty warm, 51 for our afternoon high. Normal high is 45. Again, rain in the morning, dry in the afternoon. Rain comes back tonight. The second batch of rain will be from about 5 o'clock tonight till about 10 o'clock tonight. 51 for the afternoon high, about 43 for the overnight low. Chance of rain today, off and on, 90%. Chance of rain tonight, 60%. Cloudy but probably dry on Friday during the day anyway. Still very mild, high of 53. And then Friday night looks pretty wet. No real chance of measurable rain Friday, but a good chance of measurable rain Friday night, spilling into Saturday. Saturday cloudy but very mild, 56 for the afternoon high on Saturday. Yeah, that's well above normal. And look at the overnight lows. Well above normal. Our normal overnight low this time of the year, mid-November, is 32 degrees. We're not going to get down to 32 degrees till Monday of next week. This is a very, very warm and wet weather pattern. We don't normally see that this time of the year. All right, we're going to take a break because, quite frankly, I need one. I've been working hard now for 6.5 minutes, and we'll come back with the news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Tour Moses Lake just a gas tank away. With its abundance of outdoor activities, Moses Lake is a great place to visit. From fishing and boating to exploring the city's attractions, there is no shortage of things to do. Whether you're enjoying any one of the variety of restaurants with the family or an adventure-filled day with friends, Moses Lake has something for everyone. Tour moseslake.com and start your adventure today.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Call Alpine Air Heating and Cooling today. Your comfort is their priority.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Welcome to Bliss. Population U. This is the you that appreciates the warmth of a good coat and the fit of a purposeful boot. At Coastal, we want to be your partner in finding your bliss. We are hopeful and helpful because we're about this community. So when you're looking for a place called Bliss, trust Coastal, your country lifestyle superstore. Coastal, we're just what the country needs.
Pockets of light rain. We're already at 45 degrees, which is our normal afternoon high. Hit and miss showers most of the day today, and that's pretty much the forecast into the early part of next week, with temperatures, both the afternoon highs and the overnight lows, well above normal. Authorities in Douglas County are continuing to investigate what they believe to be a homicide. This was discovered just after noon yesterday along the shoulder of Highway 97. Emergency crews were called at about little after noon, about 12:14 yesterday, near milepost 285. That's about 7 miles south of the BB Bridge. It was a report of an unresponsive male inside of a vehicle. Well, they found the man dead from apparent gunshot wounds. The victim not been identified. Douglas County Sheriff's deputies and partner agencies blocked off the highway for 11 miles between Chelan Hills Acres Road on one side and Sun Cove Road on the other while they investigated. The closure and the police activity at the crime scene is still going on. It continued right into the evening hours. The case is being investigated as a homicide. And anybody with information is asked to call Rivercom Dispatch at 509-663-9911. Well, every governmental agency is in budget time. Chelan County, no exception there. They're budgeting for next year. They approved a preliminary budget last week that plans for nearly $62 million in spending. and that's just under $3.3 million less that they're going to get as revenue. So in response to that gap, county commissioners voted for a 1% increase in property tax collections, plus a hiring freeze next year on regular, full, or part-time positions. Individual departments can request a waiver if a hiring job becomes essential. The final budget has yet to be approved, with a vote likely next month. Commissioners will hold regular budget workshops over the next few weeks, with a public hearing planned before the financial plan is fully adopted. Washington State Attorney General Nick Brown is demanding that the Federal Communications Commission publish a rule to expand emergency alerts to 13 additional languages. We're familiar with these wireless emergency alerts. You get them on your phone or on your television. They're sent by government agencies through cell carriers to warn the public of severe weather, natural disasters, missing people, public safety emergencies, and so on. Brown is one of 18 attorney generals who sent a letter to the FCC, which they say has been refusing to implement the policy, even though they already voted for it. These alerts have historically always been in English, but in 2023, the FCC voted to expand to additional languages, and they adopted the policy in January. The attorney generals say if the rule isn't submitted for publication in the next 30 days, the coalition will take legal action. Well, you might have heard about the Eastmont High School Drama Club's latest stage production, Too Many Detectives at the Murder Mansion. That show goes on for 2 weekends. It starts today, runs through November 22nd. We turned it over to the students at Eastmont's broadcast media class. I could take one of those to go behind the scenes and learn the ins and outs of the school's latest theatrical event.
Hello, Wenatchee Valley. Here at the Eastmont High School, the Drama Club is getting ready to perform its upcoming play, Too Many Detectives. Come and join us as we meet some of the cast and crew members and learn more about the show.
My name is Sofia Garcia, a student here at Eastmont High School, and today I'm here with Addison Edwards, a lead in the play Too Many Detectives. Addie, would you like to tell me a little bit more about your role in this play?
I am Detective Christy, and I play a detective that is very serious, which is not like me at all. So it's a challenge.
What brought you to be in the play?
So I did theater when I was in first grade, and then when I was in 7th grade, I joined Stage Kids, and I did that for 2 years. And then I took a break for volleyball, and then I just came back, and this is my first Eastmont High School show.
Well, thank you, Addie, for your time. And now we're here with Clara Lebo, a supporting actress in the play. Clara, would you like to tell me what a day-to-day of rehearsal looks like for you?
We did this whole thing a couple weeks ago where we would run a scene and we would run it over and over and over again so that we would get it like muscle memory. And then we went to run-throughs, and then we went to certain groups, and it's a lot of fun having rehearsal because it's a fun comedy and it's just fun acting it.
Sounds good, Clara. Can you give us a rundown of the show?
Yeah, so it's basically a comedy murder mystery where there's like this murder mansion that's like a museum almost of artifacts by this lady named Madame Doyle. And she invites 11 like mystery guests who are these like famous detectives like Batman, Nancy Drew, and it's like a cool show with a bunch of different fun endings, and it's funny and it's good.
Super cool. Well, thank you, Clara. Now I'm here with Gio Sanchez. Gio is stage manager for this play. Gio, what is it like to be stage manager?
They're doing at the rehearsal stage right now, which means they have their scripts, but then when they're off book, that means that they have to memorize all their lines. And obviously, because they just got off book, they're great at memorizing their lines, but sometimes they call line, and then I have to start feeding them their line, and then from there they can remember it, and then they can start this scene again.
Nice. How long have you been stage manager or a part of the backstage?
I started my freshman year in Footloose, and then during that show, my stage manager got COVID, so then I became the stage manager when I was a freshman for like 2 shows. It was stressful, but it was fun.
Well, look at you now. Well, thank you, Gio.
Yep.
And now we're back with Chris Brandenburg. She is a part of the sound for the play. Chris, what does a day-to-day look like for you in rehearsal?
At rehearsal, I usually get up in the booth right after school, and I'm watching everyone, waiting for their lines, muting and unmuting them, turning sound effects up and down. Pretty tedious, but it's really fun.
Sounds good. Is this your first year doing sound?
No, I did sound last year for Angela Bata On. I really enjoyed doing this, and I'm glad I get to do it another year.
Nice. Well, thank you, Chris.
Thank you for staying with us while we met our cast and crew. Make sure to come support our Wildcats.
Showings are from the 13th to the 15th and from the 20th to the 22nd.
Check out Eastmont socials for show timings and more information. Thank you.
Finally, they're having a little wing ding in Leavenworth this Saturday. The Chelan Douglas Land Trust hosting a community burn pile event this Saturday. They're going to get rid of 8 acres of hand piles. The Land Trust just completed a thinning project in its mountain home property, not far from Leavenworth. That's where the community burn will take place. Of course, we all know why these do these things, so there's not too much stuff to burn in the heat of summer during wildfire season. It begins at 10 a.m. on Saturday. It's free to attend. Fire roastable food and chili will be provided. I don't know what that is. Participants should bring natural fiber clothing, outdoor work boots, leather work gloves, eye protection, N15 masks, and if you want water and snacks, bring it. Sounds good to me. And that's the news at 16 minutes after the hour. I'm not 100% back to my usual healthy self, but we'll get there. Thanks for hanging in with me. I was just going stir crazy. I had to get out of the house. The news tonight at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock tonight, 5, 6, and 10. The NCAA Life Evening News. Check it out. Also available on our YouTube page right around 5 o'clock. Our homepage right around 5 o'clock. We stream. If you go to ncaalife.com, whatever we're doing on television is on at the same time via the internet. And I'm on record as saying this internet thing, going to be big. Going to be big. Sports is next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCAA Life channel.
Birthdays, office gatherings, and team parties taste better at Abby's. From our legendary lunch and Thirsty Thursday to our monthly giant special, there's always a reason to gather. Family-owned Abby's, your legendary pizza tradition. You asked, and it's back at Abby's. 2 legends, 1 pizza. Half pepperoni, half big Hawaiian. All delicious. It's mouthwatering, loaded with toppings, and happily feeds a family. Order at abbys.com before this legend disappears.
Family roles change with time. You may find yourself being an unpaid caregiver to a loved one. Caregiving can be rewarding, but also stressful. Taking care of yourself is vital. Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington has low or no-cost services for unpaid caregivers, such as in-home support, care supplies, and counseling. Connect in your local area by calling Aging and Adult Care at 800-572-4459 and mention you're interested in caregiver support.
For over 35 years, the Sangster family has been not only representing GMC, but the entire community.
As one of the few family-owned dealerships in Washington, you can count on our personal integrity, which has spanned over 3 generations, to ensure your satisfaction.
Sangster Motors stands behind everything we sell, from GMC professional-grade products and service from a professional-grade dealership.
Remember, caring about your family is what brings you back to ours.
I'm Jen Mueller. Watch for my show, I Cook, You Measure on NCW Life. It's part cooking instruction, part entertainment, and all about connecting over food and wine with your favorite Northwest athletes.
Watch I Cook, You Measure with Jen Mueller Mondays at 1, Wednesdays at 2, Fridays at 11 a.m., and Saturday and Sundays at 10:30 p.m. right here on the NCW Life channel.
Sports, Seattle Kraken back home tonight taking on the Winnipeg Jets. And I love Winnipeg's logo. It might be my favorite logo in the entire National Hockey League, that means anything to anybody. Second time these two teams have played each other this season. Back on October 23rd, the Kraken beat Winnipeg in Winnipeg. The final there was 3-0. Seattle is 7-4-5 overall. They're 4-1-3 at Climate Pledge Arena. And the Kraken have a 6-0-3 record when they score 3 or more goals. For the Jets, they are 5-3 on the road, 10-6 overall, and they are 5-1-0 when they score a goal via the power play. Puck drops at 7 o'clock tonight on Kong TV. Well, it's the biggest game in the NFL this weekend. First place on the line in the NFC West. Seahawks will be down in Inglewood to take on the Rams. This is a big one. Now, of course, for Cooper Kupp, it's his first trip back to Southern Cal since he was released by the Rams in March and signed with the Seahawks. And Coach Mike McDonald says getting Cooper Kupp, pretty good deal for the Hawks.
It's another example that you can show, like, look, this is how you do it. You know, as a team, as a player, as a person. I can't say enough great things about Coop. We love him. I'm so happy he's here. I'm happy he's a Seahawk. He's a force multiplier. I think he's made a tremendous impact on his receiving room, the offense, and the team in general, in just terms of our attitude and how you just approach, you know, our business every day. You know, just think back. Like, I'm thinking of him. I'm thinking of phase 2, the intent that we want to be able to operate with. We're like, look, we're trying to have great days back in the spring and like stack great days, but also have a good time doing it. You know, where you're enjoying being with your teammates and you finish the day and you say, shoot, that was a heck of a day. You know, we got better. You know, I got closer to my teammates. We had some fun. Had a great workout, and now let's go do it again the next day. And he's one of the top guys driving that whole bus.
It'll be a pretty good game. I may actually watch. Who knows? Well, the Wenatchee Panthers took on the Meade Panthers last night at Leib-Off to Field of the Apple Bowl, first round of the 4A soccer tournament. And even though these two teams played to a scoreless tie in Meade back in September, it's a different story last night. This was an upset. Wenatchee was the number 6 seed. That's why they got to host Meade. But the Meade Panthers knocked off the Wenatchee Panthers 3-0.
Working through the defense and taking the shot for Meade, number 19, Noah Cullen. A little dribble past the keeper to break the ice and get Meade on the scoreboard. Olivia Ferry pressing the attack for Meade. She'll send it toward goal and find the back of the net. And that's the end of this evening's contest. Our score here at Leib-Off Field in the Apple Bowl. Meade Panthers 3, Wenatchee Panthers 0. Congratulations to Meade as they will move on to take on Skyview.
Good season for the Panthers, but the end comes a little sooner than they were anticipating. Elsewhere in the 4A tournament, Moses Lake traveled to Issaquah. As you can see, Issaquah crushed them 8-0. Linden Christian knocked off Cascade. Cascade season comes to an end. Cashmere doubled up to 9-0. So of all the local teams, Cashmere moves on. In fact, here's who Cashmere plays. They'll be hitting the road sometime this weekend. They'll take on Montesano in the state quarterfinal rounds at a site to be determined, but it will be on the road at Montesano. Okay, soccer scores done. Soccer schedule looks something like, oh, we did that. Let's do volleyball scores, shall we? For the 1B tournament down at the Sun Dome in Yakima, Aniat and Soap Lake saw their season comes to an end. Those were in play-in games. Waterville-Mansfield got shut out by Providence Classical yesterday morning, and then Waterville-Mansfield was eliminated by being swept by Tahula. That's the 1B tournament. 2B tournament also at the Sun Dome in Yakima. Manson stays alive for another state championship. Manson is in the state semifinals for the 5th consecutive year. And guess what? They had to eliminate Tenasket to do that. Tenasket cannot win the state championship now, but Manson sure can. In fact, here is the schedule for volleyball today. Tenasket will take on Onalaska in a loser-out game at 8 a.m. That's way too early to do anything, really. And then Manson will take on Freeman in the semifinals at 10 a.m. A Manson victory, and they will play for yet another state championship. I can't forget about the Wenatchee Wild. They're busy. Starting to play some pretty good hockey, too. I don't know if you noticed that or not. Wenatchee Wild will be on the road to take on Portland at 7 o'clock on Friday night. They are back in town for a good weekend. Saturday, Prince Albert and McCann will be in town, and then on Sunday, Portland returns the favor by visiting the big city. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this 13th day of November. It's World Kindness Day today. Later on, we have that conversation with Dave Herald. Dave Herald was part, along with Gene Sherritt and a bunch of other people, to put together the Be Kind, the Kindness Counts campaign. Still counts. By doing something good, by being kind to somebody else, it actually releases endorphins in the brain. Doing a good thing for somebody else actually releases nature's painkillers. Makes you feel pretty good to do it. Also, if you perform an act of kindness, it lowers your blood pressure. That ain't bad. It also stimulates serotonin in the brain. Makes you feel good, helps wounds heal faster. People who don't give to charity aren't nearly as happy as people who do. And if you're 55 or older and you volunteer for 2 or more organizations on a regular basis, you'll live longer than other people. You have about a 40% chance of living longer just by doing something nice. And it's not that hard to do to boot. For most people, it comes naturally. It is Be Nice Day today. Try and practice that every day. Malcolm, I'm talking to you. Today in history, 182 years ago today, Mount St. Helens didn't erupt, but Mount Rainier did. Well, it didn't. It wasn't a boom. It was a minor eruption. It's the last recorded eruption of Mount Rainier. It didn't do very much, but it's a friendly reminder that there's Mount Rainier, and beneath Mount Rainier is the Puyallup River Valley. And if Mount Rainier, which is an active volcano, it's just not doing anything right now, if Mount Rainier erupts, the lahars that would come down would wipe out pretty much everything you see there. Enumclaw, Ording, Kent, Auburn, Puyallup, Sumner, and all of Renton would pretty much be wiped off the map in a matter of about a half an hour if Mount Rainier erupts again. About 80,000 people could very well die. Anyway, it's just sitting there. Whew, friendly reminder, it's just sleeping, which means it could very well wake up. Happy birthday, if you will, to Seattle. They formally have a birthday. It's today, November 15th, 1851. The Denny Party arrives at Alki Point. They took a look around and said, hey, what do you say we stick here? So the Denny Party landed at Alki Point. Then they moved to the other side of Elliott Bay, to where is now is downtown Seattle, right on the waterfront, to found Seattle. They realized if they were going to be a trading post, they needed slightly deeper water than Alki Point had to offer. Happy birthday to the Holland Tunnel, the first subway and car tunnel to go underneath the Hudson River between New Jersey and New York City. There were railroad tunnels before that. And now they have the Holland Tunnel, the first vehicular tunnel linking New Jersey to Manhattan. How many people take the Holland Tunnel every day, just one way, from New Jersey into Manhattan? A lot. A lot. Originally, you had to pay 50 cents regardless of what direction you were going in. Now it's $20 to go from New Jersey to Manhattan, and like everything else, traveling from Manhattan to New Jersey through the Holland Tunnel is free. Happy 43rd anniversary to the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. This is the most visited piece of real estate in our nation's capital. It was dedicated on the state in 1982. Those confirmed dead are denoted by a diamond shape next to their name. Those whose status is unknown has a cross sign next to their name. With the death of one who was previously thought missing is confirmed, a diamond is superimposed over the cross. Since it opened on this date in 1982, over 400 names have been added. Some died during the Vietnam War but were omitted to the wall because of a clerical error. And the others are those who have passed away since 1982 from injuries sustained in the Vietnam War. Birthdays. He was considered the greatest actor this country had ever produced during the 19th century. The problem with Edwin Booth is that his younger brother killed Abe Lincoln, which probably didn't make Edwin feel particularly good. But he was considered the greatest American actor of his time, in fact, of the entire 19th century. And ironically enough, Edwin Booth saved the life of Robert Todd Lincoln. In 1865, Robert Todd Lincoln, his foot got caught between the train platform and the train itself as the train was coming. Edwin Booth pulled him out, saved his life. It's true. And the people's lawyer, Louis Brandeis, the first Jewish member of the United States Supreme Court, and he barely got on. There was a lot of anti-Semitism to keep this guy off the court. Glad he did. And in his famous opinion in Whitney v. California, he wrote this, which stands, I think, as a great testament to Louis Brandeis. Fear of serious injury cannot alone justify suppression of free speech and assembly. Men feared witches. They burnt women. It is the function of free speech to free men from the bondage of irrational fears. Those who won our independence by revolution were not cowards. They did not fear political change. They did not exalt order at the cost of liberty. Louis Brandeis, the people's lawyer. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. They are our platinum sponsors, and we're super glad to have them on board. If you're going to have a platinum sponsor, it might as well be Alpine Air, because they know what they're doing. Mike McNaughty loves to read, just don't bug him when he's reading. Dave Herald sat down with Josey Meats to talk about his 50-year career in broadcasting. That conversation is coming up too. But first, Declan the dog still needs a home. It's Pause for Pets.
Hello, I'm Chelsea Chanley. I'm Sergeant for Wenatchee Valley Animal Care and Control. And this is Declan. He is a German Shepherd mix. We believe he's about 4 years old. He actually came from an animal control case that our officers saved him from an undesirable living situation along with one of his friends. Given that, it's astonishing to see how resilient and loving he is. Therefore, that's why we named him Declan, because he's full of joy and goodness. We're currently working on some training with him. He knows sit and lay down. He loves exploring his environment, and he's super sweet and loyal. So we need him to go to a family that will continue to show him what love and loyalty should really look like. And we're also working on some leash training as well, but he's very playful. And as always, we recommend that if you do have another dog or dogs in the home, that you come to the shelter and introduce them. And you can come meet Declan Thursday through Tuesday, 12:30 to 6. And you can also make appointments on Wednesdays. So come visit us so Declan can meet you and possibly go home with you.
Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org. NCW Life Channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCW Life would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air.
Central Washington Water understands the power of healing waters. If part of your wellness routine includes hot heat from a sauna, Central Washington Water now carries indoor and outdoor infrared and hot rock saunas by Tilo. Research shows there are many health benefits to a cold plunge after a good workout or relaxing time in your sauna. Harness the power of water in a hot spring spa, plug-and-play spas, a Tilo sauna, or a cold plunge tub. Stop by Central Washington Water, your wellness experts.
When your heating or cooling system is giving you trouble, call the diagnostic doctor from Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Here's the culprit right here.
All joking aside, when you call Dick's, you're calling 35 years of experience at customer service right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's strongly believes in repairing before replacing, and they service all major brands of HVAC units.
Mow, dig, haul, trench. The reliable Kubota BX Series subcompact tractor is highly capable. A smooth hydrostatic transmission makes for easy operation and versatile attachments that help you handle the job. The Kubota BX Series is the #1 selling subcompact tractor in the U.S. Talk to your Kubota dealer to schedule a demo.
Okay, hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNutty, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, I've always been a reader. I mean, reading is my safe place, my happy place. And whenever I'm asked what my favorite thing to do is, I say reading. Well, my favorite family-friendly thing. Okay, so I have news for you folks who are not readers. Reading is doing something. People who aren't readers see somebody like me reading a book and they think, hey, he isn't doing anything. I can talk to him and then be insulted if he doesn't hear me respond or if he just keeps his nose in the book. Now, reading is as legitimate as activity, which is rude to interrupt, as playing video games, talking on the phone, or contemplating your navel, whatever it is non-readers do. You may not like to read, but I do. So there. This is Mike Mad Dog McNutty, and that's my opinion.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. I've been helping people for nearly a decade understand their Medicare options. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand coverage options so you can feel confident in your Medicare decision. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or see me at my office in Wenatchee with easy parking and entrance.
Caught in a conflict? Family? Workplace? Neighbor? Business? Housing disputes? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us to learn more.
Hello, I'm Josey Meats with the Wenatchee World, and I'm here today with local broadcast legend Dave Herald. Dave, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you this morning?
Pretty good. So you're celebrating 50 years on the air. When you hear that number, what comes to mind? Is it reflection? Is it celebration?
Well, I really haven't kept track of the years. It's just sort of been a fun experience and a good journey. And of course, 50 years ago, lots of things were a little bit different. There weren't any box stores, and there weren't a whole lot of things in the Wenatchee Valley. 3 radio stations, actually, and 1 FM station about 50 years ago in 1976. So things have changed, but the broadcast world has changed, and a lot of things have taken place in those years.
Could you take me back to 1976? Who was young Dave? Like starting out, what was that experience like?
Well, I actually pulled in 1976 on Mission Street, and in fact, running right in front of the existing Sunny FM studios, and pulled up my Cordoba. I just bought a Cordoba, which wasn't a wise decision since we were in the energy crisis. And I stopped at the 2nd and Mission at the stoplight, and this lady came up to me and said, "You're not from around here, are you new?" And I went, "Yeah." And, "Oh, well, welcome to Wenatchee," and threw a $5 bill in my car, and the light went green, she took off. And I said, "Hey, this is going to be a great town." So that's how it all began. But actually, I was hired by Jim Corcoran and Carl Tyler. And Jim Corcoran had a station, and Carl Tyler in Walla Walla called K-Head XT97, and they hired me from a station in Tri-Cities called KALE, where I was the top 40 jock and a sales guy. So we started our journey in broadcasting by basically Jim Corcoran and Carl Tyler purchased the old KMEL radio station, AM 1340, and then changed it into KWWW. And the journey began.
What was it about radio that said, like, this is where I belong? What was that moment, I guess?
Well, I sort of got the radio bug at a young age. In fact, when I was about 9 years old, before you were born, of course, we had these little crystal radios that looked like little rockets, and you could tune them. And you could tune them into frequencies, and you get skip, which means you get radio stations in San Francisco and outside stations. Of course, you get stations in the Seattle metropolitan area where I grew up. But my father would keep pounding on on my bedroom door saying, "You're not listening to that damn radio station, are you?" And I said, "Oh, no, I'm not doing that." So I was just sort of infatuated with it. And then I got to go into a station called KFKF in Bellevue Square and met a guy named Dick Curtis, who eventually worked as a news director at Como AM 1000 in Seattle. He invited me in and let me read the weather in the studio, and ever since I catch the bug. So I've always had a passion for it.
Yeah. If anyone grew up in the Wenatchee Valley, like myself, we grew up with you as Dave in the Morning.
That's correct.
And you talk to guests as kind of like the neighbor trimming the hedges over the fence. Is that a voice that developed, or was it just there? Or can you kind of go through that with me?
Well, I was on the air in the Tri-Cities area, so it was sort of a natural for me just to move in. But, it was live radio back there. We actually had shifts that we filled, 6 to 10 and 10 to 3 and 3 to 7. So we had a full staff of disc jockeys, and it was fun playing live radio. Back then at KMEL, which turned into KW3, of course, it was top 40 radio, so we were playing the hits, and you had all these groupies that thought it was cool to drive up to the radio station, which was then right across from the Peter Rabbit store on North Wenatchee Avenue, next to the old ag supply store years ago. And so just sort of fun. You just sort of had to keep the doors locked because you never know who was going to walk in groupie-wise,
Right.
So.
Yeah. So you had quite the celebration to celebrate 50 years just a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, and November 1st. And my wife sort of put it on with the Wenatchee Center Hotel and her staff, and we invited, I wanted to invite people in the community that had been part of my life, clients and former broadcasters and family, of course. And we had about 160 people there. It was a great sort of reunion. I really, as I said in my closing announcements there, this is not about me, you know, it's sort of a gift for me to give back to you, the community, and my clients and family for putting up with me for 50 years and allowing my family, Linda, and the kids to have a great career in the Wenatchee Valley.
Did anything surprise you at that celebration?
Well, there were some interesting roasted comments, and my partners, Kent Phillips, who was on KPLZ Star 100.5 in Seattle for many, many years. He was over, and my other partners, Dave Barr. So they had some classic comments, you know, I'm sure to say. So.
Radio has changed a lot over the years, from transistor radios to streaming services, but what has stayed constant for you?
I guess what's really stayed constant for me is the importance of community and reaching out, you know, to clients, but to keep listeners intact and informed on what was happening in the valley. You know, we're sort of the communication and the resource. So we felt that we had a responsibility, whether Mount St. Helens was blowing up or whatever it was, or the latest music or the latest hit. You know, our job was to entertain, you know, keep entertaining and hopefully make people's day and get up and have a great day and keep them motivated and keep the valley positive.
You've collected thousands of stories through that journey, some hilarious, some chaotic. Is there a moment you look back on that still makes you laugh? Like maybe something that maybe wasn't supposed to go on air but did?
I guess, yeah, there are many. One, Jim Corcoran, the former owner of KW3 AM&F, and he actually hired a guy that also went to Washington State University. I went there and Jim went there, and he was actually basically legally blind. And so we hired him. Had a great voice, super nice guy, and we in those days we had all the commercials on what's known as, they looked like little 4-track, 8-track carts, if you remember those. And so every one of those commercials, in order for him to put the carts on the air, we had a Braille typewriter. And so every single commercial in the carousel, all those commercials had to have, after you put the regular label on, you had to type a Braille label and put it on the top.
Oh, wow.
So what we would do occasionally is take the carousel with all the, you know, cart machines and put them over here, and then put the tape recorder over here, so that when Marty sat down, he'd always grab to the left, and instead of grabbing the carts and the carousel, he'd grab the tape recorder, he'd scream, "Bernier, Harold, what are you doing?" And we all thought that was pretty funny. But he was a great guy. He was with us a couple of years and went down to radio, and I think he actually did some radio in Billings, Montana, and also down in Oregon. Yeah, but sort of some fun times.
Yeah.
There.
As Dave in the morning, your voice has become a part of many people's morning routines, in the shower, in the kitchen, in the car on the way to work. What's that connection mean to you personally?
Well, like I said, it's my whole goal and sort of mission is to wake people up and put them in a good mood and keep entertainment and keep the hits going. And in our particular format, we're the greatest hits, and it's fun to bring those memories back. It's interesting, that particular station, our station now, Sunny FM, is sort of ironic, but you go back to 76 or in the 80s, and now we're playing those songs right now and bringing back those memories. And what really, I think, attracts the audience there is that, as you probably know, you have your favorite songs, whether it's country or top 40 or whatever it may be, but when they hear those songs, typical person, it'll bring back certain significant memories or relationships or vacations, and that's what music's all about. It brings back fun, positive memories, and we're able to continue to do that and bring those memories and fun times back.
And then outside the studio, you've become deeply involved in the valley, whether it's Apple Blossom or the lip sync contest. Why has rooting yourself so deeply in Wenatchee mattered to you? And what has this valley given you personally over the years?
Well, my wife and I have always liked to volunteer, and we've always liked to help people that need help. And you mentioned the lip sync, and lip sync was a big craze back in the late 80s and 90s, and we probably did about 25 lip syncs. And all the money, of course, went to nonprofit organizations, whether it was the American Cancer Society or the Food Bank or the library or whatever it was. But I've just always liked to give back. I've been fortunate to have a fun and great career and rewarding career, and it's my wife and I always like to give back, and that's why we're in Apple Blossom. My wife Linda just came off being the Wenatchee Appellarian Chancellor, sort of head of that group. We've both been Director Generals for Apple Blossom, and I just think that anybody that is in a position to give back should do so, because it helps all of us.
Thinking back to Dave in 1976, just arriving in Wenatchee, what would you want him to know now?
Wow. Well, what would I want him to know now? That's a tough question.
Yeah, if you want to take some time.
You mean if I could go back?
Right, if you could go back and give him...
Of what I know now?
Right.
Well, if I was to go back and talk to me back in 1976, I would probably tell him that it's a great community, and that also it's going to grow quickly, and there's going to be all sorts of changes, whether it's box stores or telephone booths are going to go bye-bye. The computer's going to happen in 1980. You got to remember there were no computers.
Right.
So Bill Gates didn't exist. All of our logs that we had for commercials were hand logged.
Wow.
There's no computers. And probably tell them that those turntables that are out there are not going to be there anymore. Everything's going to be in a machine, and eventually everything's going to be on a personal device that you're going to hold in your hand, I guess.
And here you are, you're still doing it.
I'm still doing it. I'm still having fun. Yeah.
What keeps radio joyfully for you today? And what still gets you to crack the mic at 6 a.m.?
Oh, I think it's being able to help people, help clients, and knowing that you're helping people get through their day. And I was in Denny's the other day, and I was just paying my breakfast bill. Sometimes I'll just go there or another restaurant and just sort of veg for a while. As I was leaving, a guy that I didn't even recognize it, hey, happy 50th anniversary, Dave.
Oh, cool.
And you get things like, you don't realize, because that's what you do every day, the impact sometimes that you're making on making somebody's day. And music gives them sort of an opportunity to go back to their memories, and if they're having a bad day, maybe make their day a little bit better. So.
Okay, I have two more questions for you.
Okay.
One's kind of an easy one that I need to ask it because I'm a huge breakfast person. What's your breakfast order?
My breakfast order, I'm sort of on this health craze, so my breakfast order usually is a couple of eggs. Always want to get some protein in there, and either ham or some sort of protein, chicken, or no hash browns, and fruit, and a cup of coffee, and maybe a glass of milk. Just to get me on my day.
You still sound like you have a lot of energy and a lot of passion for it. Are there any new ideas that you're wanting to try, or old ideas that you want to revisit?
Well, we're always looking for new ideas to, for clients, but also for listeners. And we, like I said, always looking for new things. We started a program years ago called, we're sort of known as the Pay It Forward Station. And we try to do acts of kindness. And today, which of course is November 11th, is Veterans Day, so I'm going to go into the American Legion. I'm going to walk in and made some arrangements to go buy everybody a beer on the house from Dave in the Morning and Sunny FM. So we do that. We'll buy people dinner at the Windmill or a cup of coffees down at Pybus, and we do that usually every Friday, but we do it on special days like today as well. So it's sort of fun to do things like that, get back to the community and make people's day.
Right. Very cool. I lied. I actually have one more. Do you have a message you'd like to share with the community that has tuned in so faithfully over the years?
I guess first thing comes to my mind is a big thank you for, giving me an opportunity and our staff an opportunity to, serve the community and play the music that many of them grew up with. It's truly one of those generational radio stations, as I mentioned before. We're playing music that I rolled back in 1976 and 1980, and we'll continue to do the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and dip into the 2000s as well. And it's just, I guess, a big thank you.
Cool. Well, thank you for joining me
today.
You bet.
Thank you. Yeah. Nice to meet you.
I'm Josey Meats at the NCW Live Studio. Thanks for tuning in.
Craving fresh Asian comfort food? Steam Panda is Wenatchee's popular, family-friendly Asian restaurant. They focus on providing guests with delicious, healthy, fresh, and natural dishes for an affordable price. Warm up with one of their many popular house-made soup dumplings, ramen noodles, or pho dishes. And make sure to ask about their lunch and chef specials on sushi rolls. Steam Panda's Hawaiian poke bowl and salads are excellent with your favorite boba tea. Stop by or order online at Steam Panda today. Welcome to Mountain Chick Floral, your go-to flower and plant shop in downtown Wenatchee. Explore their wide variety of unusual and fun plants. And when you buy a plant in a container, they'll pot it up for you absolutely free. Birthday or weddings, they'll create the perfect floral arrangement for you. Brighten up your office with fresh blooms delivered to your door or business. Ask about floral subscriptions. Visit Mountain Chick Floral today, where every occasion is a reason to celebrate with flowers.
BC Outdoor Sport Fishing TV, Season 14. Join your host Mike Mitchell and his special guests as they explore some of the most exciting fisheries BC has to offer. BC Outdoors Sport Fishing TV. Check your listings for airtimes.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Our normal high temperature on November 13th, our afternoon high, would be 45 degrees. Right now it's 45 degrees and it's barely 8 o'clock. Rain, yep, going to see some. It's raining lightly now. It's going to taper off. There's your timeline, by the way, in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. Going to taper off, right around noon or so. Then we'll be dry for most of the afternoon. Then it returns, more rain tonight. So our rain timeline today is now until about noon. Then we'll be dry, and then the rain comes back about 5 or 6 and tapers off about 11 o'clock or so. I guess the big story from Mother Nature's perspective is the temperatures. From our friends at Colonial Vista, again, lots of clouds, patchy fog, morning rain, evening rain, dry in the afternoon. High of 51, as I already mentioned, our normal high is 45. Our normal overnight low is 32. Look at the overnight lows. Nowhere close to 32 until we get to Monday. So for the most part, right into the weekend, the clouds are going to have the upper hand. We'll see the occasional sun breaks. We'll see hit and miss showers, but temperatures very warm as a bunch of warm, moist air comes from the southwest and visits us. Provided the show doesn't get canceled, I'll see you tomorrow. Till then, bye-bye.